The concept of PTSD, an extreme stress disorder caused by trauma, is a broad one that was first described as shell shock during the First World War and later relabeled as post-traumatic stress disorder. The clinical manifestations of PTSD were first delineated in an official 1952 document, Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which categorized the diagnosis as a gross stress disorder. PTSD was later officially defined as a stress disorder occurring as the result of many types of stress.
PTSD develops in individuals who experienced or witnessed a traumatic, terrifying, and often life-threatening event. Examples of such events include mugging, rape, torture, being kidnapped or held captive, child abuse, car accidents, train wrecks, plane crashes, bombings, and natural disasters such as floods and earthquakes. PTSD is also highly associated with soldiers who have served in combat. Women suffer from PTSD at higher rates than men. It is expected that genes involving in making fear memories may play a significant role in the development of PTSD and increase a person's risk for developing PTSD.
The symptoms of PTSD include avoidance, staying away from places or things that remind the victim of the event or events that triggered the disorder. Feeling on edge or being easily startled, also known as hyperarousal.
A motorcycle, but it's a Harley Davidson, so I think if you're kind of
Outbursts of rage.
So basically I was thinking I could go over at 10 or like 3 maybe? What? What do you mean? I've been planning this with you for like 3 weeks. Oh, why don't you even try to hang out with you anymore?
Insomnia. Loss of interest.
Depression causes a feeling of sadness and a loss of interest. It affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. You may have trouble doing normal day-to-day activities, and depression may make you feel as if life isn't worth living. Okay. When people feel emotionally numb, they can feel emotionally disconnected from a situation. For example, a person in a sad situation who does not feel like crying. Emotional numbness can also cause a person to feel hopeless about his or her future. Different psychological conditions or reactions to certain events can cause emotional numbness. When people experience a traumatic event such as war, sexual assault, or a natural disaster, the trauma can affect them emotionally. Some survivors of trauma may develop a type of anxiety disorder called post-traumatic stress disorder. Guilt is a cognitive or an emotional experience that occurs when a person realizes or believes, accurately or not, that he or she has compromised his or her own standards of conduct or has violated a moral standard, and bears significant responsibility for that violation. It is closely related to the concept of remorse. PTSD is managed mainly through different types of therapy and medications such as trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, family therapy, antidepressants such as Prozac and Zoloft, which are used to treat depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, and panic and anxiety disorders. PTSD is a debilitating disorder that affects people of all ages. A wide variety of traumatic events are culpable for the development of PTSD, especially among people possessing specific genes that increase the likelihood for acquiring the disorder. Flashbacks, nightmares, and avoidance syndrome are the primary characteristics of PTSD, which is treated with therapy and medication.